Good morning. So, there's been a lot of screaming, yelling, crying, whatever other term you want to put to it, on the latest update, or at 5.9.0, something like that. The Professor X, Mr. Sinister, Mystique, the Colin Netmarble, Greedy, and all that fun stuff. Which, you know, they might be. Whatever, they're a business, they gotta make money. But, all these people yelling and screaming, I just think are wrong. It's not that bad. And here's why. I mean, it's pretty simple, to be honest with you. So when we got the update, there was well, not the battle world, the faction battle where you had the X-Men versus Avengers or something like that. And through that, even if you lose, you had more than enough crystals to yeah, I mean, all you had to do is participate to unlock Mr. Sinister. And then if you had tickets, you can get him to 6-star. And then from 6-star, you can use the Mega T2 ticket they gave you right before the update. You just had to log in, do the dailies, and you had a Mega T2 ticket. And with that, you got it's Mr. Sinister without spending a dime, unless you use that Mega T2 on somebody else. Whatever, it's your game. So you can get Mr. Sinister T2 for nothing. The next character, Professor X, you need 4,500 crystals, just like every other Danger Room character. You need 4,500 crystals to unlock him to 6-star right away. You need to run Danger Room for probably 10 or 20 of them to get Professor X to T2. And then during that time, if you finish not all of them, but if you finish like 50%, it might even be 30%, I don't remember, I really don't run Danger Room much. From there, you can get him to T2 for free, and also get, I think it's $1,500 refund in crystals, so you're spending 3,000 crystals in the end. And you need to have that 4,500 up front, but you get them back, you can get, you know, what is it, about a third of them, 1,500 crystals back. So, yeah, and as you're doing that, assuming you have the sub, except for the really free to play, I'd say most people have the was it Stark Stash? It's a $4 or whatever. It's one of the cheapest subscriptions and items in the game that, in my opinion, everyone should get at least once. You can use your Google opinion rewards or whatever to actually pay for it if you do that. I'm not sure if Apple has something like that or not, but yeah, on Android, if you do the reviews, I mean, I'm sure you can get $4 a year to get it at least once a year. So anyway, that's free to play. You can save up your crystals and get it in probably about a month, maybe 2, depending. As semi free to play, you could probably get it in, well, probably a month. Actually, as free to play, it might be up to 3. I'm not gonna do the math to figure it out, but it won't take forever to get 4,500 crystals to unlock Professor X. So and you probably have, you know, 1,000 or so saved up, and if you're a smart free-to-play player, you probably have some stockpiled, so it's not gonna take you all that long. And then from there, like I said, you get the 1,500 refund. Mystique to unlock is what, 2,200, 2,500. You got over half the crystals back from the Professor X. It's not going to take you much time at all to get Mystique unlocked. So probably another week, maybe a month, depending on how free to play you are. So you can get Mystique unlocked at 6-star, because she's 6-star right away. And now, if you finish this event that's going on right now, if you hadn't started yet, you're too late, but unless you spend. But now, they are giving us another free 2 ticket, Mega T2 ticket. So you can drop that right on Mystique. And then you have Mr. Sinister, T2, you have Mystique T2, and you have Professor X T2 without spending a dime. All you need to do is get that 4,500 crystals, and the rest is cake. Assuming you didn't spend your Mega T2s on somebody else. You know, and it's up to you on who you spend your items on. You know, maybe you don't like Mystique, maybe you don't like Mr. Sinister, whatever. Get who you want, but the key is you don't have to spend a dime to get any one of those characters. If you were here, you know, for the update and you got the free Mr. Sinister bios or X genes, whatever. Yeah, so there's no reason to complain about that. Uniforms, one thing I noticed that bugged me is genes cost more, but otherwise that is normal. Nothing we got this time is out of the ordinary as far as characters. We got a paywall that we ended up getting for free. We had Professor X, which was in the Danger Room, just like the other ones, just the same as Rachel, just the same as Megasonic or whatever her name is. It's exactly the same as those. You get the exact same amount of crystals refunded. There's nothing to complain about if you didn't mind it before. Most people, you know, most people didn't mind it too much because you got a T2 in the end for 3,000 crystals. That's not bad at all. That's actually good, very good. Quit complaining. So you do that Professor X, you get the crystals back, and then you buy Mystique, right? Which is the same as Sabretooth, which is the same as Emma, which is, I think it's similar but not quite the same to Adam. I can't remember, that was a while ago. So there's nothing new there. Nothing we got this update for characters is new. Nothing we got for this update for uniforms is new. They're all the same. Every single thing is the same, except for, this is the one thing that's different, is the cost of Jean's uniform. And I think I'm pretty sure that it's the same price as other native T2s. I could be wrong there. I don't want to look it up now. But yeah, nothing is new. Nothing in the game is new as far as spending crystals for characters and uniforms. The one thing, this is the one thing that's new, and people complain about it all the time, and I can understand their complaint. I have, my reasoning's different though. My reasoning for the complaint on the Mandalay crystals is probably different than everybody else's. They're complaining about the grind, which is a long time. But the grind is not much different than when we had to unlock the Thanos, when we had to unlock the Black Order way back when. The grind isn't much different from when we were grinding for T2 and the Cosmic Cube fragments. It's not much different than getting the type enhancements, though the type enhancements I would argue is worse because you get them all the way up and then you go to level up and you fail, so you gotta do that all over again. I hate type. If we get type enhancement tickets and I'm still playing the game, depending on the price and what's going on in the world, because we're, you know, kind of in a crisis right now, I might have to buy a 6-star type enhancement for Spider-Man because I have given up. I have totally given up on it. But that's another story. So the Mandalay crystals, I don't feel are that bad. If they can throw us a bone and drop in maybe a random drop in World Boss Ultimate or whatever. I covered this in my last video, where I actually complained about the crystals, because at that point I thought it was ridiculous until I actually did it, and then I realized nothing is new. We've dealt with this before. Nothing is new. The cost is not that bad. Even for free to play, because if you do it right, it'll only cost you 45, plus 4,500 plus the 2,500. So that's I can't do math. 7,000 crystals, and then you get 1,500 back. So 5,500 crystals, 5,500 crystals, which is rough for free to play because you have to have that 4,500 up front, you know, like I said. And if you're wise with your crystals, if you have been wise with your crystals, and you really want these 3 characters, or these 2 characters, because it's only 2 that you have to do this for in Professor X and Mystique. If you're wise with your crystals and you want these 2 characters, it's a short grind even for free to play, like a month, maybe 2, maybe 3, because you probably already have a fair stockpile of crystals to do so. Now you do have to make a choice on if you want the characters or the uniforms, but that's nothing new for free to play. That's nothing new for pay to play. There's nothing. It's easy choice for whales. You know, it's you know, you got to make a decision if you're like me, and you know, I'm not anymore, but like a fish. You know, I just get usually just a Stark stash, if anything. So, yeah, it's nothing. Shut up. Is basically what I'm saying. If you're just complaining about the characters and their cost, shut up. Plan it out better than you have. If you're complaining about the cost of the uniforms, just shut up. I mean, they're the same. Nothing is new, except for maybe a gene cost. It might be a little bit more, but I don't remember how that went. So, yeah, there's nothing new in there. If you want them all, yeah, it's going to cost a lot. It's going to cost you 10,000 crystals or thereabouts. But 1, you don't need them all. And 2, you can grind it out even without paying. So, shut up. The Mandalay crystals, the grind is nothing new. The grind is a little slower than, probably a lot slower than previous grinds we had, but it's just another grind. They're slowing us down. Now here's the problem. I think I said here's the problem from before, but here's the actual problem with this update. So before, if you remember, I don't even remember the cost before because I didn't care at the time, but they totally reworked, well, they didn't totally, but they reworked this, the Awakening. We had it going before. This is how it was. This is the way we did things. This is how we awakened things. They changed that. They changed that and added a new item, the Mandalay crystals. It was already established before. They changed it. That's the problem. That if we came up with these Mandalay crystals before, when Awakening was added, yeah, we'd probably complain a little bit that the drop rate's slow. But it would already be there. It would already be established. In a month or 2, with our complaining about the drop rate, eventually they would increase it, just like they did with comic cube fragments, just like they did with other materials. Eventually they would gradually increase it. So this time next year, Mandalay crystals will probably drop like cosmic cube fragments drop now. They're relatively easy to get. So yeah, but the drop rate is still really slow, the base drop rate, and you can only get them, I think you can only get them from events and squad battle and purchasing. And even if you purchase them, you don't have enough. So, well, you would if you did the normal acquisition in game and then pay it, you'd have enough to awaken somebody. So yeah, the grind is longer. They changed, and we wouldn't need that grind if they wouldn't have had changed an already established mechanic. They changed the mechanic to make it harder. The only reasoning I can think that this would be done is because people were going too fast. they were upgrading too fast. Even the free-to-play people were advancing too fast. They wanted to slow people down because they won't be able to keep up. They would have to, the power creep would just get way too high, and they wouldn't be able to keep up with that, with their already laid out plans anyway. So that's why I think they changed it, rather than lower the drop rate of whatever these are called, awakening crystals. Rather than lower the drop rate for that, they just added another item, which that's the bad part. If this, like I said, if this would have been in when Awakening, if these Mandalay crystals would have been in here when Awakening started, there would be, we'd complain about the acquisition rate and the grind, but we wouldn't be, you know, smashing our desks and throwing our phones or whatever you want to do for being upset, because the only thing we'd have to complain about is the low drop rate of a new mechanic. They changed that new mechanic that was established and added this. Are you getting what I'm saying? This is the only real issue with the update, is the drop rate on these, which if you want to awaken somebody right away, I mean, you can do this for free, kinda, if you don't mind the wait. I don't mind the wait. I really don't. Yes, I would like to have Mystique's Awakening open, but I've never bought into the Awakening. I think I awakened Doc Ock back when it came out, and pretty much said, no, I'm not doing this again. At least not until the rate's a little better. And then the rate got better. You know, I saved some up and whatever. I'd rather use my fragments and materials for T3ing people. But whatever. I'm sort of rambling now. This is the problem with the update. The character acquisition from crystals is not a problem. Period. I mean, everyone could be had for free if you came in, if you had the Mega T2 before the update. So yeah, that's that. Anyone complaining about that? Stop. Anyone complaining about the new uniforms? Stop. If you are complaining about the new Awakening, go for it. I am behind you. The grind, I am a little bit, but the whole change in the mechanic to Awaken, well, frankly, it pisses me off. But I don't do it, and this is just another reason why. Because I'm going to get that 1000, I'm going to awaken somebody, and then they're going to release an update, and then that thing I awakened becomes pointless. Just like Doc Ock. He's now kind of pointless with Mystique. The power creep went really fast with that. So, yeah, that's that. I'm done complaining about the complainers now, so feel free to like, subscribe if you want to hear me complaining about the complainers again, or just I'm gonna see the crazy stuff I do, the pretty much dumb stuff I do. I do other stuff, like guides and that sort of thing. I'm gonna be posting up within the next, probably over the weekend. I just built a new server for my home lab, 10 core 20 thread, you know, and that was a lot of fun, and my bad video work and stuff. So if you want to stop by and check that out over the weekend, it'd be great. I do have a few WoW guides too on how to set up your own WoW server, so go ahead and check those out. Yeah, so like, subscribe, notification bell, all that fun stuff. Come back, take a look. Alright, and I'd like to give a big shout out to Vader. His guides had completely changed my performance in the game. Thank you. I appreciate it. I probably disagree with you on the 5.9 update, costs and complaints, but I'm 100% behind you on your guides. They're just great. So, all right. So have a good rest of your Friday.